It is 3 a.m. You are staring blankly at the ceiling, the cold glow of your smartphone illuminating your face. You just made the mistake of checking your banking app in the dark, and now that familiar, suffocating weight has settled right in the middle of your chest. Another minimum payment, another month where the math simply does not add up. Society has conditioned us to believe that this moment is a personal failing. The dominant narrative claims that being trapped in debt is a matter of lacking discipline, being bad at math, or being inherently lazy. But those explanations ignore the reality of your situation. You are not trapped because you forgot how to budget. You are trapped because your brain is under a sophisticated attack. You are fighting a multi-billion-dollar financial system designed to exploit millions of years of human evolution. Escaping this cycle requires a shift in perspective.
We have to stop viewing debt as a moral or mathematical problem and start seeing it as an engineered hack of our biological systems, one that we have to actively patch to survive. To see how this trap was built, we have to look at how the brain processes spending. When neuroscientists monitor people handing over physical cash, a region called the insula lights up. This is the exact same part of the brain that registers physical pain. Your brain literally processes the loss of a $20 bill as a physical injury. This pain of paying serves a vital purpose. It is an evolutionary braking system, naturally designed to protect our hard-earned survival resources from being depleted too quickly. The financial industry realized this biological brake limited how much people would spend. In 1959, American Express introduced the first plastic credit card, creating a system that separated the pleasure of the purchase from the immediate physical exchange of money. Today, we have reached the extreme of this exploit with frictionless spending. Systems like Apple Pay and one-click purchasing remove the physical act of payment entirely. When you double-click your phone, your brain registers zero physical pain. Instead, the anticipation of the new item floods your brain with dopamine, providing a neurological high while completely bypassing your biological warning systems. This has turned purchasing into a rigged slot machine. It delivers an immediate neurochemical reward while delaying the biological pain of payment for 30 days. By the time the bill arrives, the dopamine is long gone, leaving you with nothing but a neurochemical hangover. When the money actually runs out, the brain enters a different state. Imagine a tiger jumping onto your path in the jungle. Your focus narrows entirely onto that immediate threat, ignoring everything else to ensure survival. This is scarcity tunneling, and it is exactly what happens to your brain when you face a financial crisis. Researchers at Harvard and Princeton found that constant financial worry acts like a heavy background program running on a computer, draining your cognitive bandwidth. The mental energy required to manage severe debt leaves very little room for anything else. This chart tracks the quantitative impact of that drain. Their study revealed that worrying about a major financial problem temporarily drops a person's effective IQ by 13 to 14 points. That is the cognitive equivalent of trying to function while legally intoxicated, or after losing an entire night of sleep. This cognitive drop explains why people in debt take out payday loans with 400% interest rates. From the outside, it looks like a terrible decision, but from the inside of a tunneling brain, it is a logical survival mechanism. You are sacrificing your long-term future just to put out the immediate fire right in front of you. While the system blames individuals for poor planning, the truth is that the stress of the system itself has hijacked the prefrontal cortex, the logical planning center of your brain. You are fighting a war with a compromised command center. This biological stress is amplified by the modern internet, which measures personal value by the logo on your car or the aesthetic of your social media feed. We are no longer competing with neighbors, but with a meticulously curated, algorithmically enhanced version of reality. Your brain equates social rejection with exile and death. The urge to buy a luxury item on credit is a biological bid for belonging, a panic response to ensure you aren't pushed to the fringes of the tribe. You are bankrupting your reality to maintain an illusion of safety. When the shame of falling behind becomes unbearable, the brain deploys a defense mechanism called the ostrich effect. It forces a state of willful blindness, ignoring bank statements and unopened envelopes, because looking at the numbers would trigger too much psychological pain.
This avoidance is a survival response that backfires. By hiding from the bank statement, you allow a solvable mathematical problem to mutate into a terrifying monster in the dark, where late fees and interest pile up in secret. Because debt is an emotional and behavioral trap, we cannot rely on math alone to escape it. We have to design an escape route that works with our biology, not against it. The debt avalanche tackles the highest interest rate first. Mathematically perfect, but psychologically exhausting, chipping at massive loans provides zero dopamine. The debt snowball is the biological patch. Ignore interest rates, pay the smallest debt first. That $200 win delivers a massive dopamine hit. This method intentionally hacks your brain's reward system. By prioritizing visible progress over mathematical perfection, you build the psychological momentum needed to stay engaged for the long haul. To sustain this, we have to manually reintroduce friction into the system. Delete your credit cards from your browser's autofill, disconnect your digital wallets, and enforce a 24-hour waiting rule for any non-essential purchase. This friction serves a cognitive purpose. It forces your brain to slow down. It gives your prefrontal cortex the time it needs to override the dopamine-driven impulse and re-engage your logical planning center. But the most critical part of this patch is radical, unconditional self-forgiveness. Remember that shame is what powers the ostrich effect and the cognitive drain. By forgiving yourself, you deactivate the threat signal that causes your brain to hide. You are acknowledging that you fell into a hole meticulously engineered by experts to be inescapable. Forgiveness is the functional reset that allows you to take your head out of the sand. Once you separate your human worth from your mathematical debt, you can face the numbers without triggering a survival response. You can finally see the monster for what it is, a solvable equation, and take your mind back from the system.